Hi guys, and a very very happy new year to you people. It's good to have you back. I hope you enjoyed your holidays, and I hope that your new year is off to a good, beautiful start. And I am praying for nothing but blessings for you. Anyway, it is that time of the year, and I know our vision boards are full of all our dreams and ambitions and what we want to achieve this year. And I can bet with almost 99% certainty that y'all have a goal to deal with finances, okay? So if you're that one person who has decided, you know what, this year I want to look at my finances, I want my money to work for me, I want to know where my money goes, then this is the right channel for you. Stay with me and let us grow together, okay? Karibu sana. So one thing in finance, the past, more often than not, will inform the present. And so for this video, I want us to look back and assume. Let's assume in January of 2025, you had decided, you know what, this year I'm going to be serious with my money. And let's assume you had even taken a simple goal like, I want to be setting aside 10,000 every month to invest or to save, right? So if you stayed true to that goal, and saved 10K every month, that is to mean that by the end of December, you had 120K. Okay? That's even assuming you did not put your money in a bank, you just put it, like, let's even assume you do mattress banking, or you put it in your M-Pesa where it's not going to earn any interest. So, now let's look at the different forms of investments or channels where if you had put your money, it will have given you a return that is higher than the rate of inflation. Okay? So, the first and the most common that people know about is money markets. Okay? And I know in 2025, the rates in the money markets were not that high, but there still were some exemptions, the likes of Saiton and Kuza, that were giving between 14 and 16%. So, let's assume even went for Saiton, for example, and you put in your 120K there. Yeah? At the end of the year, you'd have gone home with around 134,400. Okay? Say here. Then, let's assume you decided, you know what? I am more risk averse. I would just want to take my 120K and put it in treasury bills. Okay? If you put your money in treasury bills, the 120K, you'd have gone home with 131K400. Okay? Yeah, I'll insert those images here. Now, let's assume you put your money in a SACCO. And SACCOs are a little bit different. You could have chosen, for example, to buy shares in a SACCO. When you buy shares, you're given a dividend, okay? There are some SACCOs that performed exceptionally well. I mean, these are outliers. It's not everyone in the market who did that. But there were some SACCOs who give dividends as high as 20%, okay? So if you had taken your 120K, and you were given a dividend of 20%, that's around 21,600. So that means you'd have taken home 141,600, okay, from your 120K. Then let's assume you put in your money in a share deposit account. This is different. This is you're not buying shares. What you're given, you lock in your money for some time. Then what you're given is something called rebates, okay? So, assuming you had taken your money in such an account and got 13%, that is to say, what you'd have taken home was 135K. All right? Okay. Now, let's assume you're not risk averse. You decided to jump on the shares bandwagon. And I'm going to use an example of Kengen, for example, because it's one of the best performing shares in the market. It had around 22% return, overall. So if you had put your 120K, you've taken your 120K and bought Kengen shares, for example, you'd have gone home with 146,400. Okay? So you see, just the whole point of this video was to show you your money can work for you. You don't need to put it in your M-Pesa. You don't need to do mattress banking, And it doesn't matter how little you start. At the end of the day, you're going to have an amount that has beaten inflation. Disclaimer, I am not giving you get rich quick methods in this channel. That is not what we are doing here. Here we are trying to grow discipline and to look for ways that your money can work for you. Okay? So one thing that we may have noticed in this video is, and maybe you're asking yourself, if when I put my money in a money market, that money more often than not, or a bigger percentage of it goes into treasury bills, yeah? Why is it that the return for money market is higher than the return that I get if I had invested in treasury bills only? This is the reason: compounding. I know you have heard that a million times, and I will also say it again: compounding interest is your friend. Let me explain compounding to someone who's new to this term. This is basically what it means. Let's assume in January you had put in 10K, okay? And for ease of calculation, the calculation is, or rather the rate is 12% per annum. That just tells you that for every month, your money earns 1%, right? What is 1% of 10,000? That's around 1,000, right? So that is to tell you that come February, or at the end of January, you'll have gotten 10,100, right? And then now in February, the interest will be on the 10,100 and not on the 10K. And that's what makes money. That is what makes money markets, what should I say, more attractive. And I know it may feel like the money market buzz has fallen short, but I will tell you this: it is not dead yet. Especially if you're looking to grow your emergency fund. When I made the budget video, I mentioned that at any given point, you need to ensure that your emergency fund can last you for at least 6 months. Assuming today you're in corporate, right? And then your boss tells you, what, Lois, we're not making money, you need to go home. And just like that, you no longer have income. How much, the money that you have, how long can it last you, before you go dead broke and you're thinking of going back to shags? Let's even assume you're not employed, you do business. And then you're indisposed and you're the only person who could do that business. Let's assume it's just a startup, you don't have structures yet. What then happens? Does it mean that when you're not there, then your life collapses? I'll put a link to the budget video that I had done. Please refer to that. But what I'm trying to say is, this year, don't let your money sleep. Let it work for you. And especially if you're growing an emergency fund, I would recommend go the money market way. And then if now you already have your emergency fund in place and you're looking to invest, you can consider other things such as SACCOs, we can consider special funds, we can consider shares. But since I'm doing this video for beginners, I'll stop there. In our next video, I'm going to compare the different money market funds just to give you a little bit of information. And I know, like for example, when they tell you that they're going to give you a 16%, is that what you're going to get? Because I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, these things are a scam. They promise 16%, but that is not what we got. We can deal with that in our next video. But I just want to be your, accountability partner. If you've set aside, or if you have a goal to ensure that you grow wealth this year, then stay with me. Okay? Again, Happy New Year and enjoy a blessed year. Bye.